Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be converting my M9A3 slide using the G conversion kit from Beretta. This converts the decock safety into a decock only. So for anybody that doesn't know, on most Berettas, unless it's like a Brigadier, most of the normal 92 Berettas have a decock and a safety. That conversion kit will make it a decock only, so when you push down to decock the gun, it'll spring right back up. The things you will be needing for this, the things that I'm going to be using. I have a vise on my bench. I'm going to be padding the vise using an old cloth, putting this in it, obviously putting my slide in there. I'm going to use a nice brass hammer to knock out the roll pins. You're going to need some roll pin punches and obviously your conversion kit. So let's get set up. I'm going to zoom in and we'll get started. All right, so for our first task, we are going to be removing the firing pin safety, which is this block on top. There's a spring inside that's keeping downward pressure on that block. So what you're going to do is run this pin out. There's a pin that runs across. You're going to run this roll pin out. As you remove your punch, this is going to come downwards. It's going to come out the bottom of the slide. Make sure you don't lose that piece. There's also a spring in there, so don't lose either of them. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to knock these out. Across with that pin. There we go. You can see, here's my pin. Here is the firing pin safety. Oop, don't want to lose it. Firing pin safety. And then if we flip the slide sideways, you'll see that there is the spring in there. So let's tap it out. And there's our spring. Come on. And obviously you don't want to lose that. So from there, let me turn it around this way. The next thing we're going to do, if you have an M9A3 slide, I can't speak for all the Berettas, but for the M9A3, the decocker on the right side has two tiny little roll pins in there. It should be about a, let's see, this is a 1/16. I think it's about the size of a 1/16 punch. My punch is a little bit oversized, so I ended up making a little tiny punch that will fit down in here to knock those pins out, right down in there. This was from a El Cheapo Walmart multi screwdrivers kit that I had. It's only, I think they're only like $8. So I took a file, I took the smallest hex piece, filed it round, and then filed it to the right size so it would fit. So we're gonna go ahead and knock those little pins out. So there's a pin in each side. Something you need to note, if you have one like this, the pins are going to come out the bottom. So let me see if I can turn this over real quick so you guys can see. Yeah, there you go. You can see the holes right here. That's where the pins come out. If the safety is not on safe, it blocks those holes from opening, from it being exposed. So you have to put the safety on so you can expose those holes, tap the pins out, and then this part of the safety will come out. Let's go ahead and knock both those out. There. Should be one. Hopefully that's two. All right. And we will jump cut real quick so I can find those pins, make sure they don't get lost. All right. Real quick jump cut. Our pins are now out. They were a little bit stuck. So, you know, take your time with getting those tiny little pins out. From here, you should be able to remove this. It'll wiggle out sideways, I hope. Come on. There we go. It's very tight. You can see where those two little pins hold it in right there. So just go ahead and wiggle this out. Your next thing we should have to do, I'm going to be careful over here on this side. We are going to depress the plunger in the back. Let me grab a punch that is the correct size for it. So we're going to depress that plunger and work this out. There is a detent, it doesn't look like you can see it. There's a detent that's going to come out right about here. Keep your thumb or something over this so the detent doesn't go flying. Excuse me, otherwise you will lose it and you're not gonna have a fun time searching around your garage for it. So let's see if we can do this. So we should be able to depress this. Always hard. Depress that. Come on. Let's see the best way to do this. Jump cut. All right, so we made a little progress. This is another pretty difficult part that you need to be careful with. So let me see if I can get this framed up for you guys. I did this off camera. You guys can do this on your own. It's not too difficult. You need something to hold so you can have both hands free. So in this little spot right here, there is a detent that rides in there that doesn't allow this to go any further up, obviously in the upwards direction. So what you end up having to do, I put it in the slide. I put the slide in the vise. I took a little tiny knife to push down on that detent, and then at the same time, you can see right down in here, it's a little dark, is the plunger for the firing pin. You need to push down on that as well, and then rotate your safety upwards like this. So now that we have it upwards, if we keep going, we push out a little bit and up, you're gonna get this detent that's gonna come out. So just be very careful of it. I'm blocking this, I know, with my fingers, but you'll see in a second, I think. Ooh, there we go. So there it is. A little detent popped right out. You see that right there? Let me see if I can focus a little better. Yeah, there we go. A little detent popped out, so we're gonna go ahead and remove that detent. Let me grab a pair of pliers. I think we got some needle nose over here to make this a little easier. All right. Go ahead and grab your pliers. Remember, it's a detent and a spring, so you don't want to lose either of those. Grab that. There is the detent and your spring. Go ahead and pull the spring out. There you go. Detent and spring out. Set those aside. Now we should, cross your fingers, be able to push this out. If we keep rotating it up, should be able to work it out. So there's that other detent I was talking about. You see it here. There you go, in focus. That's the other detent on the right side of the slide. So as you're pushing this whole mechanism out, make sure you watch that one as well so it doesn't pop out and you don't lose it. Pull your detent out. Now we should be clear to wiggle this whole thing out. Sorry if my hands are in the way. This is a little difficult to do on camera. So there we go. Wiggle the whole piece out. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So there's your decocker. There's your little pin that rides in here. It's your hammer pin, or rather your, that's a little connector for the hammer. So the hammer actually strikes here and hits the firing pin on this side. That's what actually blocks. So as you switch upwards, as you swivel downwards, the hammer hits here instead, so you don't hit the firing pin. So if anybody's curious, that's how that works. Here we go. All of our parts are now out. And let me lay this back down so you guys can see. You can see we have a nice empty clean frame, nice clean holes. There's our firing pin all the way around. Whoop, there we go, nice and clean and without anything in the way. So next, make sure your firing pin doesn't come out, obviously, and we are going to start the install of the G conversion. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the best way I found to finish this up with the finish the install here. So right now you're looking at the left side of the gun and the right side of the gun. It's pointed down. The slide's pointed down. So what we're going to do is high-level overview. Put the right detent in. Start installing the left side of the safety. We're going to install the coil spring on the right side of the safety and then kind of squish it all together, I guess is the best way to say that, while getting this detent in. This detent will then hold. This detent will also be held. And then the last thing we would have to do is drive the pin into the top to make sure this stays. So let's see if we can do this without too much hardship here. So that detent's going to go there. We're going to take our new left side of the safety. Remember, this needs to, I don't know if I told you guys, this needs to come over. This is the firing pin plunger. That needs to move over to the new safety. So we're going to take this, start fitting it in like this. You'll see in a second what we got to do. Okay, so the plunger is now being held. The safety is not being, I'm sorry, this plunger is not being held. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab, let's see. We're going to grab the new coil spring, which goes actually like this into the gun. We're going to see if we can fit it in there a little bit. It's hard with this detent in the way, but I want that detent there so it will maintain. If you try to get this in afterwards, it's a pain in the butt. I tried this a couple times earlier. This, I think I found, is the best way to do it. So, like that. So, before the detent falls out, we're going to take this. And you can see here there's a little hole there where that little 90-degree angle needs to fit into. So, we'll try to push this detent up. Fit this on. Like that. So as we squeeze this, you make sure this little leg, we'll have to make sure that this little leg is in the right place, which it's definitely not right now. Let me flip this around so you guys can see. I'll show you what I mean. So if we flip this, tear my towel a little bit, flip this over, come on, there you go. Let me make sure that you guys can see. Let me refocus real quick. There you go. So it's a little dark. I have a flashlight so I can show you guys. There you go. So you can see that that leg, this leg right here, needs to be going into the hole in here, and then the straight piece that is currently right here needs to ride into this channel right here. So I'm just gonna do some adjusting. I might be in the way, but I'm gonna try to adjust this real quick so it fits correctly. Like that, and like that. Try to get this fit as best we can, just like that. Okay. So now you can see that this little leg will be in the correct position when we spin this. So think of this as like a clock. We're going to spin this, and that will torque down that spring. So that will tighten up the spring, give us some spring tension. Before we go any further, though, we need to get the detent in on this side. Let me flip this around for you guys. This is not the best way to do this. I'm doing this with it standing up. If you have a different, let me refocus real quick. Doing this flat would be better. I'm gonna try doing this standing up just because that's how I have the everything set up right now. What you're gonna wanna do is get this detent up into the little hole, and you'll understand why doing this on a flat surface would make a lot more sense. I just don't wanna adjust right now. We're gonna grab, I'm gonna use a flathead screwdriver bit to help push this detent in. I'm sorry, I'm one-handed. I'm trying to put the bit into the screwdriver. All right, so we're gonna try to do this. Push that detent up in there. And see what I mean when I say squish this whole thing together? Kind of like that. Okay, so you can see that that detent is currently being held. And we want to get this in and over like that. Okay, so now this detent is held, this detent is held, and all we have is spring tension holding this from going anywhere. So the last little bit we got to do is put the roll pin in here, and we should have, it should hold this whole system together and give us spring tension. So, ooh, I hope that was right. I don't think it's in the right place though. So let me pull this out real quick and give it a look. Okay, so we didn't have any spring tension, So what I just did is, that little 90 degree is in the slot. I just didn't rotate it to put spring tension on it. So now I should be able to put this God, I don't want to say detent one more time. I'm going to put this roll pin back in. And this should give us the tension we need. Like that. Like that, see? So again, you're going to want to flush this, this roll pin up. Actually, I think it's a little shorter than the hole overall, so you're going to want to just even it out. Do it by eye. I went too far that time, so let me take it back. Like that. It's even on both sides. And now that we tightened that spring, you'll see we have spring tension on the whole thing. All right, so the spring is now tight. You can see. So the last thing we need to do is take our spring, our firing pin block, and our pin for that and get it in. So I'm gonna do this real quick, see if I can get this done. Spring goes into the tiny little hole in here. Like that. Always hard dealing with little springs. Fucking hate them. Come on. Grab the pliers. Probably the easiest way to do this. Okay, spring goes in. Firing pin block will be going in as well. So firing pin block drops like this. And like that. Come on. Like that. You're going to put a little bit of pressure on it so the hole lines up here. And then you're just going to take your hammer, knock that roll pin in, and then finish it off with a roll pin punch. A little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. And you just want to flush it up on either side so it looks pretty. Ain't nobody want ugly roll pin. There we go. All right. Firing pin block is in. Our spring is working. So what we're going to do lastly is we'll take our slide. We will take our frame, our slide, and our components, our innards. Put it all together. Like this. Barrel goes in. Guide rod goes into my shoulder. Guide rod goes in onto the slide. And now you should have a decock only. As you can see, goes down, pops back up. Same for either side, goes down, pops back up, and that's it. Throw your mag in, rack it, so you're chambered, and you're good to go. That is the install. It's really not bad once you get the hang of it. So keep trying. It's not too hard. You'll get it. Also, definitely buy one of these because that is awesome. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Check out anything that I got next coming up. I'm sure I'm gonna have some more stuff. As you can see, oh, you can't see. I got some stuff in the background I'm gonna be working on. Some reloading, some other things. So, you know, check back in. I should have some more videos coming up now that Hank has convinced me to start putting out some content. So anyways, guys, have a good one.